last couple of days, I've got a couple of calls, and I go to the property, and it's sketchy property. The people seem a little sketchy and everything, and there's a lot of shit going on here, and they got tons and tons of junk, and I'm trying to figure out where the finances are coming for this and all that. How do you guys go and approach a situation like that? I'm talking like a house that's got like possible like 10 loads in it. There's just junk all around the front of the house. I mean, it's an absolute shit show, and the people that they look like they're on drugs, and that they got a situation where the county's about to take over the house and all, and they want to get things done. So my fear is I go and I start doing these loads, and then it's time for to get paid, and the money's not there, or we have a little situation. My thought is handle it load per load. But how do you go about like pricing something out like that, and just kind of closing the job? Because they want to know a final price, and it's a shit show, so you really don't know. It could be 5 loads, it could be 10 loads in there. There's just shit everywhere. So how would you go about approaching that and being able to close the deal and feel safe with the situation, that you're going to get paid? Because that's the main thing.
So
Well,
one thing I would do, Paul, is I would take a down payment if you could, you know what I mean, and put some money down first, and then get paid after each day before you leave. Get paid. That's what I would do. But really, on jobs like that, most of the time we don't get those jobs. Most of the time, those people don't go with us. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
if it's like a drug house and people are all smoked out, and then you got a bunch of shit there, they ain't got the money.
Okay.
yeah, in a scenario like that, I mean, I would say priority is always going to be safety, right? As you grow, my mindset's always on liability. And my team has full discretion. If they pull up to somewhere and something is off, they're like, you hop in the truck, take off. I have no problem with that at all, right? I need to make sure our team is staying safe. But typically, if you're walking into a situation like that, you're there because you've been contacted by a realtor, an attorney, a conservatorship, something is there, and you have that connection to guarantee that you're going to get paid. I've walked into one of those situations once in 4 years, and it was the one time I wish I had my gun on me, my vest on me. I was like, this is sketchy, man. And I got out of there quick. It's like, there's no money here. And this is going to be a huge bill. And it was just, it was sketchy. Yeah.
Yeah, Ramrigue goes, come on, Paul, you got them guns, bro. You just beat them up. And I got a junk truck, throw them right in the trunk with the junk. Nah, but I've been graced, like lately I've been getting like a lot of high-end clients, but I've noticed in the last few days, I've went to a couple of properties where I'm just like, oh my God. But then at the same time, you see all this junk and you're just like, you're racking it up in your head. You're like, oh wow, this is a big money job. And then you're like wondering, you kind of start believing their stories because you want to believe the stories, you know what I mean? They're like, the county's going to cover it and all this stuff. And then, when I'm thinking about things, and I'm like, well, I want to see the counties cover it. I want to see something in writing. I want to see a deposit. You know what I mean? Like, so, all right. What other topics do you guys want to cover? What's something interesting that's come across your guys' eyes in like the last week or two? Business situation that we could talk about right now.
Now, what does everyone think about AI? AI is a trip. What do you guys think about that? You think it's going to take over people doing websites, people doing logos? What's your thoughts on that?
I
To an
love
extent.
it. I mean, it's just, you could do everything. You don't need anybody anymore. It does everything for you. It's like having virtual assistants, having an army just going at it. And it's a matter how far do you want to dive into it. And that's one of those things that I was talking about with like Andrew Thompson stuff, Xavier stuff. I'm watching Xavier stuff and I'm just like, I'm learning so much stuff. I just find myself, I'll have like an hour, I'll be laying in bed and I'm just start talking with ChatGPT like it's a person and having it teach me everything. And I go down these rabbit holes and I'm like, damn, I'm like a genius now. I could do anything. It's nuts though when the stuff that you could accomplish with this, and the more you play with it, the better you get and the quicker things get done. And I'm just amazed. I'm like, oh my God, it could do anything. You wanted to make a website, it could make a website. You wanted to make a bot that could trade on the stock market better than any human investor on the world, oh, it could do that. It's just, there's no limits to it. And I'm like, this is kind of scary in a way, but you got to learn now. You know what I mean? Don't be that guy that's like, oh, whatever. I'm just gonna use Google. Anytime my girl says Google now, it's like, nope, Chat GBT. My parents, same thing. I had them pay for their $20 a month. I made them do it, and now I quiz them. Every time I hit them up, I give them, oh, you got to look this up. What did Chat GBT? Not Google. What did Chat GBT say? So I think it's one of those things you got to adapt to, or else you're gonna be left behind.
It's crazy how far we've come and how information is just, you can just ask and receive the information. Because, when I was when I was a kid, you had to walk to the library and get out an encyclopedia, take the
Yep.
time to, alphabetically find what you're looking for and then read about it. So it's crazy the world we live in now.
Could you imagine if you were in school today? I used to be the most inventive guy at figuring how to cheat and do all this crazy stuff back then. I was one of those like badass students, you know what I mean? Like just doing outrageous. They made it so easy for kids today. I'm like, dude, I would have never got one question wrong with all these like technology and watches and earpieces. Like,
Yeah, I was thinking that because I did work at a school, and I'm wondering because plagiarizing was like a huge issue, and kids would get in a lot of trouble. But now you could literally say, write me write me a thesis on this, and how would the teacher even know?
There's AI
Unless
checkers.
yeah,
they
they have AI checkers now, so they even have
okay.
like defense against it now.
Yeah.
So you got to get a little inventive. So you get somebody to go and put it in their own words and all, and then they can't prove that it's yours.
But
It's
at
Yeah.
least
Our
you can
kids.
get a whole thing started and change it, mess with it a little bit and have it be some, not really your own, but somewhat your own, change things up. It still makes everything so much easier.
Did
Yeah.
you
Our
guys
kids
all
have their
download
teachers
the
don't allow
monthly?
them.
Sorry, what'd you
Sorry,
say,
brother.
Abel?
I say our kids' teachers don't allow them to use AI, and I tell our kids point blank. I said, use it all day, every day. It's the modern day calculator. Teachers aren't going to like it because it's outside the box, right? If your teachers have a problem with it, I will be more than happy to sit down and have a conversation with them. I said, now don't sit there and use to write your entire paper, right? Use it to break through all the writing blocks, right? How many of us sat there trying to write a sentence or a paragraph for an hour, right? I said, use it as your template, use it as your guide. I use it all day, every day. It's my favorite toy, my favorite tool, best employee, you name it, best copywriter, best everything. But it's just, yeah.
I remember back in the day with the pen and writing it on the palm of your hand. You'd have your little cheat sheets and all this shit. And I'm like, these little bastards got little watches now that talk to them and tells them everything. It's like, it's crazy. I would have got everything right. All my reports, they would have been the best ever. But yeah, I'm a fan of AI, and I really believe that it's the future. And people, they need to adapt, and the people that adapt early are going to be profitable from it. I think you could figure ways to make it into.
Oh,
Ooh, we
Oh.
just lost Paul.
Awesome.
Sorry,
oh,
sorry.
yeah.
Oh, he's back.
Okay.
Hold.
We just lost the host, the host with the most. But I think AI is good, and AI is just going to help out so many people who, because everybody, even senior citizens now are on their phone and they're figuring it out because they have to contact their grandsons and their grandchilds, and that's how they communicate with them. What do you want for Christmas? What do you want for your birthday? And they're Amazoning up and ordering everything because we go to a lot of people's houses and we pick up all their Amazon boxes. And these are senior citizens. These are senior citizens who are ordering this whole garage full of boxes, and AI is helping everybody, especially for everybody who's into Google and ranking and SEO and downloading pictures and getting reviews. The more you do it, the more AI is just going to see it. And,
Yeah.
and when someone's in your area and they're logging in, hey, junk removal near me, appliance removal near me, who's going to pop up? The guy who was constant with clicks, YouTube, uploading pictures. AI is just going to represent you to the fullest.
Yeah.
And of course, there's the sponsors who are up there, but you're still going to be up there too, because people are going to shop around and still get 3 quotes. And as we all we like the CTA, the call to action. Call me. I love the clients who call me and say, "Hey, how you doing? I need this junk removed. When are your availability? I can be there tomorrow." Boom. That's the client that I'm gonna give a discount to. That's the client I'm gonna hook up. That's the client that's gonna keep on calling us and keep on referring us and actually working for us because they're gonna refer us to a coworker, a friend, a spouse, or somebody. And it's gonna keep on going on and on and on and on. And people don't realize how important it is to, you know, stop willing and dealing back and forth with clients through text messages. And it's just yikes. It's just like I tell a lot of the clients, contact me back after you got all that info. After you got all that info, call me back and maybe I can price match or beat it or whatever. But call me back after you got all that. You know what I mean? Because you already know, Matt and JoJo, the 707, there's a lot of us out here.
Yeah.
Oh
When
yeah,
you
we
guys,
got about 100 junk haulers out here, but we don't see them moving every single day.
yeah, but when you guys come down here to the dumps down here, oh, you see the lines, how many people coming in.
Yeah,
But
we
but you
do
know,
see more when we come to your area.
and 80% of them don't have logos. 80% of them don't have wrappings, and but they're still getting jobs. Roofers are junk removals, painters are junk removals, landscaping guys are junk removal. Everybody's junk removal.
Hell
That's
yeah.
that's just what we deal with, and you just have to learn how to, like we say, give them that Kimball slice price. You know what I mean? Call to action, get on the driveway, get in there, get in their face. They're gonna love when they see the yee yee shirts. They love when they see the yee yee trailer. They love when they see the yee yee truck. And I'm gonna be that annoying Kirby salesman with that vacuum. I'm not leaving until I seal the deal. You know what I mean? What's it gonna take? You know what I mean? And that's just you got a lot of us, a lot of haulers don't have that ambition or that strive where you really have to, give them a menu, make it happen for them. And but sometimes not all of not all jobs are our jobs. And there's just some where we got to get back in that truck and haul out. It's not my job. You know what I mean? But I feel good that I went in there and gave them that price and they seen it. And sometimes they even call us back and say, you know what? My wife liked you. I wanted the cheaper guy, but my wife liked you. So, you know, it's
Hey,
all
hey, something you can do the next time they ask you, I got to talk to my wife. Let them know. What are you going to do if your wife says no? Ask them that.
He hasn't done that yet, but he's thought about it.
yeah, yeah,
Hey,
yeah.